If you're 13 to 25 and you want to get rich, you need to watch this video. The truth is, I've personally always wanted to be rich. Growing up in a lower middle class family, we didn't really have much money to spend. We barely ever went on vacation, and even when we did, it wasn't exactly what you would call a vacation. It was simply a trip to another city. The truth is, just like me, you've probably grown up witnessing the people that you love breaking their backs only to earn breadcrumbs, while you know that some people are out there printing cash on demand, and you know that if only you had more money, then life would have no limits and you could do whatever you want. You could travel the world, have fun with your friends, retire your parents, take care of them, even drive the car of your dreams on the highway. Everybody knows that life is better with money. And while the average millionaire is between 57 to 60 years old, let me tell you one thing: becoming wealthy in your early 20s unlocks a level to life you didn't even think existed. Now you and I, we've probably never met before. My name is Fred and I'm an entrepreneur from a lower middle class background. I grew up in a small town, less than 10,000 people, with no real career opportunities. I went from having only $400 to my name over 4 years ago to making upwards of $1,094 in a single day at only 21 years old, selling services and digital products. And on top of that, I went from being so anxious I couldn't even go outside for a walk for months to spreading my message with the world and generating over 36.7 million views on social media in the span of 6 months, starting with no audience. The thing that no one's told you before is that you have the desire to be rich for a reason. I don't personally believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. We live in a world of cause and effect. So if you have a particular desire in your heart, it's for a reason. It means you are meant for it. You have the strength to overcome the obstacles on your way to get that thing that you desire. If it wasn't meant for you, you wouldn't have the desire in the first place. But for you to get what you want, it's not going to be easy. If you want to become wealthy, to become financially free, to make 10K per month, to retire your parents, to be able to live a great life, to never have to look at the price tag of things, you will face many obstacles on the way and you will have to become a better version of yourself. Just a few years ago, I couldn't even focus for 15 minutes. I was too afraid to literally just go outside to take a walk because I was so anxious, and I couldn't reach out to leads on LinkedIn because I was afraid of rejection. Now fast forward to today, I'm working 12, 14 hour days and I speak to anyone confidently, making $1,000 a day at 21, generating 36.7 million views online. It wouldn't have been possible if I had stayed as I was 4 years ago, shy, anxious, and scared to do the work. A lot of people think that if you want to make money online, it's as simple as knowing where to click on which button to press. The truth is, it's not, because more so than business tactics, it's about you becoming the wealthy version of yourself. Because right now, you have ways of doing things, ways of thinking that the wealthy version of yourself doesn't have, and that's holding you back. The reason why, growing up, we didn't have much money is because my parents didn't know what wealthy people know. If they did, they would have been much wealthier themselves. And I even noticed it in the small details. I've been around very wealthy people and I've been around broke people, and the difference in mindset is insane. Wealthy people, in my experience, barely ever spoke about the price of things. While I would see my parents arguing about chores, about having to do the cleaning, wealthy people simply hire a cleaner. So all of those problems are solved. Realize this: money can solve 99% of your problems. The problems money can't fix, nothing can fix. Now I know that when you're broke, one of the main reasons why you want to be wealthier is to access a higher quality of life. I started my first couple businesses when I was only 11 years old because I was sick and tired of being broke. I hated my life. I was sick and tired of seeing my parents complain about the price of things every day. I would see them break their backs every day at work only to earn breadcrumbs. I'd see my mother go and work a dangerous night job at the hospital. She had to deal with very violent patients. And when I mean violent, I mean thugs. I mean dealers that got into knife fights. I mean convicted felons that wanted to get McDonald's brought up to their rooms at 3 a.m. like if it were a hotel. And sometimes one of these patients would get violent with the nurses. They'd get angry, start insulting, even hitting one of the nurses. That's the job my mother was doing every single night. And on top of that, my father was stuck in a dead-end job he hated. And because he was miserable, he'd get drunk, he'd take it out on me. He'd become violent, abusive. So growing up, most of the problems we faced as a family could have simply been solved if we had more money. And that's why I made it my mission to become successful from a very young age. I started many businesses, all the way from selling candies in the neighborhood to dropshipping with paid ads and later on with organic marketing, and for a while I couldn't see any success. It took me almost a full decade, from the moment I was 11 years old to the moment I turned 21, to start seeing real success online. Yet when you start posting nice pictures on Instagram or on socials, people will just call you a lucky rich kid. They'll think you had everything handed to you on a silver platter. For me, it wasn't the case. I don't come from money. But I know for a fact that when you're broke, you look at all the luxurious things that rich people have, and it's fascinating. You're in awe. I remember when I was a kid, the rare rare times I would happen to see a supercar on the highway, wow, it felt incredible. I was wondering how come somebody can afford to drop $200,000, even $400,000 on a car. That's more than my parents' house. Whenever I'd see a celebrity on TV buying a private island, I was shocked. And for a while, I'll be honest with you, like a lot of broke people, I was putting luxury on a pedestal. I was putting nice cars, nice vacations, nice dinners on a pedestal. But you have to realize that for wealthy people, these things, they're a hygiene standard, which is why if you want to become wealthy, you need to stop putting luxury on a pedestal. Rich people literally do the same things as broke people. They sleep in a bed, they eat food, they drive a car or get driven. The only difference is they get to sleep in a better bed, in a much nicer place, in a much nicer environment. They get to drive cool cars, they get to have fun. When they do go on vacation, they get to actually spend money and have fun with their friends for real. What I'm trying to say is that you have to realize that nothing is out of your reach. If you like nice cars, go to the Ferrari, go to the Mercedes dealership, look at the cars around you, go to the affluent areas in your city and walk into the lobby of a 5-star hotel. You'll realize that everything that you want is there for the taking. 2 years ago, I stayed in a 4-star hotel for the first time, and for the first time in my life, I got to see wealth around me, for real. I was staying in a very expensive area of London, Canary Wharf, for those who know, and I dressed super elegantly to go to the hotel, because I thought everybody would be wearing suits or dressed very elegantly, but it turns out I was the most well-dressed dude in the room. So even though it was a 4-star hotel, I felt overdressed for the occasion. Truly wealthy people don't care what everyday people think of them. I had someone ask me on social media why I wasn't wearing any logos except Under Armour when I'm working out. But the thing is, I'm not trying to advertise other people's brands. You're not going to see me with a big Gucci or Balenciaga logo because I don't like it. I like subtlety. I like the fact that I could be wearing a shirt, it could be costing $500, but nobody would know. Now, something that you need to understand if you truly want to become wealthy is that you need to become a producer, not just stay a consumer. The reason why I was broke just over 4 years ago was because I wasn't producing much value at all. You have to understand that people won't give you the money they've worked so hard to earn just to please you. You need to give them a valid reason to part with their money, and the way that you do this is by giving them exactly what they're asking for. So contrary to popular belief, in order to become wealthy and to selfishly buy the things that you want, you have to become selfless and give others what they want. Now, something I really wish someone could have told me when I started my first couple businesses is that at first, you are going to struggle for longer than you think, but when it rains, believe me, it pours. You could be working extremely hard for months and you feel like nothing's happening. You're about to give up, but then everything changes literally overnight. Don't ever give up because you never know how close you are to your breakthrough moment. It took me almost a full decade trying many different business models to start seeing any success online, to make my first $1,000 a day at only 21 years old. But that was only possible because my journey began 10 years ago when I was only 11. The only way to lose is to give up. What if you were about to reach out to one more lead and that one more lead would sign a contract with you to pay you $2,000 a month for your services? That alone could change the rest of your life. What if you were about to post that video on YouTube that would blow up your entire channel, but instead you give up because you don't believe in yourself anymore? You either do what it takes long enough to actually win, or you give up along the way alongside 99% of people. But if you choose to give up, you will take your dreams with you to the grave. And to me, that is the saddest thing ever. I've seen what the pain of regret does to a man. I've seen my father all of his life working a job he hated only to pay bills and taxes, and that's because he never followed his dreams. He never even tried. Now, that being said, I've recorded a video in which I share my full story, how I went from making $0 per month and only having $400 to my name over 4 years ago to generating upwards of $1,094 in a single day at only 21 years old, selling services and digital products. I'll share with you the step-by-step process I used to make this happen so you can copy me. And on top of that, I'm also going to reveal the 2 best paths to $5,000 and $10,000 per month in 2024 and beyond. The link to that video will be in the description. Now, if you found this video helpful, share it with a friend it could help. And together, let's blow up this YouTube channel and empower individuals across the globe to become financially free.